What up guys, man, here with another video. And in this video I'm just gonna go over how you're able to use the ERM Multiclock to record everything into your DAW, and then you can use that, all the MIDI, to actually control all your different synths that you might have outside. I know it's kind of like a backwards thing, but it's gonna prove 2 points. One, that you can use the ERM Multiclock with your USB and use it as a MIDI controller almost. And the other thing is that you're gonna be able to like send CC sequences from your DAW back to your machines outside after you have like some patterns going and everything that you like. All right guys, let's get to it. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to make sure that you bring in the multiclock from the ERM plugins. I actually have it routed so like it's coming out of my sound card towards the sound of the ERM multiclock. I think that's the best way to get everything in sync in the DAWs with all the different machines. In my system, the output is output mono number 4. So we did this group before and I'll play it right now. So that's the sequence that's coming directly from Octatrack into the multiclock and then back into your DAW. So the other thing that you want to do here to make sure that the recording is on time, right? There's a couple of things that you can do here in Logic. I'm sure that you can do them with other DAWs as well. One, we're going to go over here and customize control bar displays, and we want to use low latency mode, because that's going to record everything into Logic from the Octatrack with low latency. The other thing that you can do with the multiclock, just to make sure that the timing is right, is you're going to go over here, IO, mono, and then you're going to click here, this thing called ping. It's going to compare how many samples, you're going to get after you select the output and income from that unit. So it gives you like an idea on like how long does it take for a sound to reach your system and back. So ping. This one has plus 28 samples. So what you do, you turn this off and then you go over here in Logic and you do the same thing with your DAW. So over here, instead of like going plus 28, we're going to go minus 28, and that should get everything on point. After you're done with this and you're working through your project, everything should be pretty much on point, right? I usually do this every time that I start a project just because it makes more sense to do it once, record, and then move on. Let's move to just recording right now. Once I hit play and all the tracks are selected and record is active, sounds really good, right? So over here, I'm just gonna skip the 1 bar count because these are machines. I'm not playing anything. So now let's record it all in. You notice that it's only like recording one of the tracks, right? Which is pretty fun because once you're done, boom, it's gonna spread them out. Okay, so we're good. Now they're all spread out. Now let's go and see. Let's turn the multiclock off just to see the timing of everything and how it sounds, right? See, as you guys can see, nothing is happening on the Octatrack, right? And everything is sounding on time, on point. So I think this is valid. I think that now I'm just gonna, delete the extra. All right, so now we have, this is kind of like the ARP sound that we were using with the Octatrack bass line. What I like is that he actually has that like humanistic way of like, because I actually like move the swing on the Octatrack, so kind of like works for me. Yeah, so that sounds good. All right, so now let's say that we, fully enjoy this bass line that is happening here with this tal bass. But you know what? We might want to like bring in the sub 37, right? So now I'm going to change this angle. The other thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to actually duplicate this, and instead of like using the tal bass, I'm actually going to go over here, utility, instruments, mono, and let's say I want to use this. I'm just going to copy it down. Then I'm going to actually mute this one, and then over here the destination. Okay, so as you guys can see on the multiclock, channel 1 is channel 16, and channel 16 is going to correspond to my sub 37. As you guys can see, the MIDI in for my sub 37 is channel 16. Okay, so now that we have that sorted out, we're gonna go over here. So since we have 4 outputs in the multiclock, for my sub 37, it's going to be in the MIDI destination port 1. And it's going to be for channel 16 because that's the one that I have assigned to my sub 37. Sub 37 is my input number 6. So I'm going to create it. And then right over here, we're going to go to bus, actually stereo output, right? So now if I click anything on the sub 37, it should sound right over here. Okay, so now I'm going to actually like play this through. So when I press play, this is going to send the signal and it's going to come in through the audio of the sub 37. So let's go and record it in. So one thing that I enjoy about this process is that even though there's like a little bit of like movement between what's coming out of the sub 37 with the bass line, I do think that that like experiment or like that accident makes those bass lines like sound really good together. Now let's bring in the kick for this. So you can actually generate a groove just that easy, right? So you're actually like using the MIDI signal that you send from the Octatrack back into Logic, and then Logic is sending that same MIDI signal out the sub 37 or any other synthesizer that you might have rigged with your entire setup. All right, guys, hopefully this was helpful. And yeah, let me know what you think. All right, guys.